Today in Cannabis News, Minnesota state regulators announced changes to statewide medical cannabis product offerings starting in March. A team of military veterans urge South Carolina state legislators to pass a statewide medical cannabis proposal, and the National Football League reports that it has approved funding for research studies examining cannabis use for alleviating symptoms of American football players' pain and head trauma. It's Wednesday, February 2nd, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, Minnesota residents enrolled in the state's medical cannabis system will be eligible to purchase dry, smokable cannabis flower statewide starting March 1st, according to the Minnesota Department of Health. The move occurs after a bipartisan coalition in the Minnesota legislature endorsed a policy reform last year that would allow medical cannabis patients to purchase smokable cannabis items. Current options, such as extracts and other refined items, were excessively pricey, according to proponents of the adjustment. Starting this week, medical cannabis patients will be eligible to arrange consultations with a healthcare professional to be qualified for smokable cannabis when it is ready to be offered. Just Minnesotans 21 years or older who are enrolled in the medical cannabis program as patients or caregivers will be allowed to obtain the dry cannabis. They also need to show confirmation of identity in order to buy it.
Next up, this week a coalition of military veterans rallied to urge the South Carolina State Senate to support a medical cannabis proposal. The Senate started debating the proposal last week, becoming the first cannabis legalization-related deliberation in the chamber. The Compassionate Care Act was initially presented by Senator Tom Davis 7 years ago. He claims that the proposal's protections will ensure that cannabis is solely utilized for medical purposes and not for recreational purposes. The Compassionate Care Act would establish a controlled medical cannabis system that would enable people with chronic medical conditions to utilize and obtain medical cannabis securely when their doctors approve it. Senator Davis previously stated that this will be the nation's most stringent medical cannabis program. Physicians would have to consult with patients in person, look for any signs of substance misuse, and draft a medical regimen in writing. Cancer, multiple sclerosis, glaucoma, sickle cell anemia, and autism are among the conditions that could be addressed under the proposal.
Last up, this week, the National Football League reported that it had approved $1 million in funding for 2 research studies examining the usefulness of cannabis and its compounds in alleviating American football players' physical discomfort and supporting neuroprotection from head injuries. The grand idea was first unveiled in June 2021 by an NFL committee and the Players Association, underlying the tremendous enthusiasm between players and shareholders alike in investigating the medical efficacy of cannabis, especially as a substitute to opioids and prescription painkillers. According to Kevin Hill, a cannabis researcher and co-chair of the NFL-NFLPA Joint Pain Management Committee, there are many causes as to why research into cannabis's pain-relieving prospects has been constrained, such as the reality that it is still classified as a Schedule I federally controlled substance in the United States. When first unveiled in June 2021, the NFL stated that its main areas of study will include the effects of cannabinoids on pain in elite football players, post-surgical and/or in daily pain management, the effects of non-pharmacologic treatments on pain in elite football players, post-surgical and/or in daily pain management, and the effects of cannabis or cannabinoids on athletic performance. For example, psychomotor, reaction time, cardiorespiratory function in elite football players.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Second Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm Devin Leal.
And I'm RJ Balde, signing off.